I have a problem spending money. Like I have to like like I'm the type of nigga when my shit hits on payday, I pay everything right then and there. Like
Mm.
everything, even if the shit ain't due to the 19th of the month, I'm like this check. So I'll
Oh,
be
you real good.
yeah, I got to get rid of all that shit, man. Because if I
You real
see
good.
$1 available,
Yeah.
nigga, DoorDash is on oh, look at some pizza. I need a new microphone. I need to like. I'm just
See,
gonna.
my thing is I'm such a visual person. Like I like to look and see that I have money for as long as I possibly can. So I'll
No,
be like, oh, okay.
that
Okay,
shit hurts
Rack's
me.
getting up. What that's due? When's the due though? Friday? I
That
got
shit
2 days
hurts.
to act like I got money. 2 days just to personally feel like I'm doing okay.
Bro, I got hella racks sent to me, tens of thousands of dollars sent to me from back child support when I ended it, right? Because
That was a flex, unnecessary, just
well, I'm
unnecessary.
just saying, right? So like I had been paying for child support like 3.5 years after it had stopped, but the government was still like even in the code, my boy was in the government finance, and he was just like, "Yo," he's like, "This shit says infinite. Like, there's no end date for this." And I was like,
It's like a Diddy contract.
"Yeah, right." You feel me? Oh my god, I love Ice Spice. Jesus, I don't know why people hate on her. I love her. Um, I don't like her music at all, but she is just delicious. Um, but anyway,
When I first saw Ice Spice, she was on the cover of like a Spotify playlist, and they used her face, and I had never heard of her before.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, she's like some like gingerbread model or something that they just kind of, they used to have like, wow, those are hip hop hits, volume three,
yeah,
or wow,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
music. And it'd just be some random person with like
Chick with
sunglasses and some
and
skates. Like I thought she was just a model. And I'm like, oh, she has a song. Yeah, she's
yeah.
trash. She's cute, but she's trash. She's like,
Yeah, like she's sexy as hell. Like she's killing the sexy game for everybody that's out there right now. I think like Ice Spice is. If I was 22 years old, that I would like. Remember, you used to have a Lil Kim poster in your room. Remember that
no.
poster? Yeah, you did. You had it. You had that shit. You had that poster, bro. Yes, you did. You had that little kid poster where she was sat down and she had her legs up with that leopard fucking thong on and that monkey, that monkey was out. You had that shit in your room, nigga. Anyway, that's what I would have. I would have Ice Spice in my fucking room. Like that was the only poster. Like, do people even have posters anymore? I mean, like,
They have wallpapers.
oh, okay.
That's
Like
it.
for
Just
screens, like for your computers and shit.
that's it.
That's crazy, bro. Like
That's it.
I try to put my kids on posters. Like I'd be like, Jameer, you want this Spider Man or blah blah blah? He's like, hell no. fuck up a
You're like,
fuck up
can I
a
play it?
yeah. Fuck up a hang that shit up. That's stupid.
How
You
do
want
I
that nigga
charge it? How do
watching
I?
me while I sleep? That nigga's a superhero. I'm out here trying to do bad shit, nigga. This nigga gonna tell on me, nigga. Fuck no. I don't have that nigga in here. But
You heard about Kanye West lawsuit?
no, I haven't been paying attention to Kanye West at all. Like Kanye West owes me $80, nigga. I
For what?
need my shit.
For what?
When he dropped his little bullshit ass everything on his website is 20 fucking dollars. I got in before everybody knew about $20, like his whole shit.
Hmm.
So on his website, he's selling like those fucking sock shoes, his shirts, t-shirts, his pants, everything was $20, right? And nigga, I've literally been waiting probably like 4.5 months for my shit to fucking get here. And so like he's just keep going on doing publicity. And if you look, it's hella funny because people like, nigga, shut the fuck up and send me my shit. Like, stop fucking
Oh,
advertising $20, nigga. You don't have inventory.
so
You don't have
what was it exactly?
so his what is it, Vultures is his new album or something like that. So he did a whole campaign for his new album that dropped, and he on his website Yeezy.com. You can go in there right now. Everything on Yeezy.com is 20 fucking dollars. And so like there's these sock shoes. They're like literally socks with like the front of your fucking foot and the back of your foot have like a sole. right? It's only two soles. It doesn't even go from the front of the toe to the back of the toe. It's like one independent in the front, one independent in the back. But what pissed me off, like, and everybody else, because I thought I was just like the only, and I even, so they have no customer service at all, right? You gotta like, when you log on, you gotta go to like a third party website, and them niggas finally wrote me back and was like, oh, due to the influx of shit, blah blah blah, like inventory is low. We regret to let you know. I'm sorry for the inconvenience and blah blah blah. And I'm like, nigga, this is 2 months after I fucking hit y'all up after he dropped this shit. Like, y'all niggas stole $80. So like people be on the chat be like, I'm just waiting for the class action lawsuit. Cause that nigga's about to sue this nigga again.
Wow. Yeah, y'all ain't getting nothing after this lawsuit that one of his ex-employees put up on him. If that go through, you really ain't getting not a now thing. Not a now.
I feel like Kanye had a good leg to stand on, right? Because he was speaking facts at first. He was speaking facts. He was like, I have no hate for anybody, right? I'm black, so it's not in us to be racist. But he was speaking on like Hollywood and Jewish people and like how he's like gated on certain things. Like, I can't get past these gates because they hold the industry down. And if you just know anything about entertainment, every myth that you could think about Hollywood, I think is 100% fucking true, right? But now you fucking over everybody who was in your corner. You had a very small percentage of people in your corner, and now you can't even. And then you want to blame it still on these people, but you done got your own distribution company. You got your own record label. You got your own all of these fucking things. Now it's just piss poor management. Like, you are not a CEO, my nigga. You are a worker. You are good at fucking working. Be a fucking worker, nigga. Let people that know what the fuck they're doing run that shit and do what the fuck they're supposed to do. Like, motherfuckers like, oh, Adidas dropped a whole bunch of Yeezys after they dropped them. It's like, nigga, let's get the shit out of our fucking inventory. And like people, I bought some. I got all my Yeezys after that. And he's like, oh, those are fake Yeezys, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, they're fucking real Yeezys. What's fake, nigga, is your website. My shit came in 4 days, like they said my shit was going to come from Adidas in Adidas packaging, fucking box with Yeezy across the fucking box, nigga.
But let me tell you,
You are the nigga that's fucking hating.
I hate this issue with him and saying stuff about Jewish people. Because it really does start to feel like the LGBTQ conversation where it's like, I haven't heard Kanye say one thing about Jewish people that ain't right. That's
No,
not correct.
yeah,
I haven't every blah 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 got a Jewish person in their contract. You go to all these powerful companies, there's a Jewish person. But for some reason,
hey, can I say you don't age though, my nigga? Like, I look older than you. I'm just looking at the thing. Like, I look older than you right now. I look like the older cousin. I look like I've lived. You look like you just fucking out here, just like not a wrinkle in your skin at all. Your shit glowing. I am so mad at this nigga right now. I'm just looking at the goddamn thing. I'm like, God damn, do I need a light or something? Like, this nigga's out here older, younger cousin than me right now. Like, the
older,
fuck is
younger
going
than
on? Yeah. This nigga out here fucking eating his vegetables.
if they say like, man, all the spot the point guard or forward or back NBA spots, it's all black people. Yeah, it sounds pretty racist, but it's also pretty true,
Pretty true. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If they're like, man, it seems like hip hop music is just mainly black people.
Yeah.
All right, but if you say all these companies they ran by Jewish people, now it's like you anti-Semitic. What's anti-Semitic about that?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm reading through this recent lawsuit, and he's like, oh yeah, when we were there, it seemed like he would treat the white employees better than the black employees. Okay, quit. What do you
Yep.
what why is that a lawsuit? And you know, he talked about how he hates the Jews and how they're trying to take his money. I'm like, well, they did take a lot of his money. I'd probably hate him too. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the problem? Did he do anything to him? Or are we in a place now where even the First Amendment, this thing that everybody keeps fighting for, this freedom of speech doctrine,
Yeah.
now when that speech goes around certain topics, now all of a sudden, no, you can't talk about that though. Freedom of speech in America, we'll put our lives on the line for it, but don't say nothing about. Come on, man.
No, I
Come
hundred
on, man.
percent, I 100% agree. I feel like a lot of that shit is just ignorance. Like people don't know shit, right? Like when they hear something, it's like, it's that house coat grab. Like you said, what? You know what I mean? But like the
Right.
reality of the situation, like if you, like I said, I'm not in the entertainment world, but I've been interested about the entertainment world for life, right? So like
Right.
you have no choice but to understand it at that point. You know what I mean? You have no choice but to like feel like you have an understanding of how those things or the reality of those type of industries. But I
Right.
feel like people who are just a fan of it, who don't dive into the deep details of it, when they hear things, they're just shocked. Like, oh my god, people, R. Kelly was doing that to people. It's like Diddy was doing that to people. It's like he's a king. Like this nigga was literally in, like you said, in a nightclub saying, "Hey, I'm bored. I bet you I could make a group out of random people in this fucking club." You
Random.
know what I mean?
Don't
Like
matter.
it's what is that? Rat Race. You ever see the movie Rat Race?
Yeah.
Was just that. That's exactly how that shit is. Like once you get to a certain level of like just like prestige and money and whatever, like even me, like I can't have the same conversations with certain people that I consider brothers and sisters that I grew up with. It's just we're not on the same mental level, you know what I
Right.
mean,
Right.
of understanding processes and procedures and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like when people say stuff to you that have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, you're like, that's why, like, I don't get mad at Trump supporters. I don't get mad at motherfuckers storming the Capitol. I'm just like, you just have to understand, like, the level of aggression or progression of like people's beliefs and like how strongly they are into this, invested in this. When you're just a fan of something, that doesn't move you at all. It's just like if you're a fan of R. Kelly, you're just like, I love R. Kelly. He would never do that. And then like all this evidence comes out, and you're just shocked and awe, and you're like, but he did pull. Well, not pull up to my bum. I'm thinking of Petra. Oh, remember Petra? We used to love Petra. That's the ADHD kicking in. What happened to her? Like that was good music. That was a good time. That was like the first introduction to like softcore porn for a lot
Pretty
of
much.
music for a lot of music
Pretty much.
videos. I
To
think she
see
first.
see a woman in black patent leather Daisy Dukes grinding in front of a limousine. It was like
I watch it sometimes. Sometimes I'll pull it up on YouTube just to
you're like it's,
remember.
it's aged well.
Say
It
well,
still gets the job done. It's aged well.
very well, very well for her. And maybe she's just like, she's not in that same shape because I'd be watching Trina come on stage and I'm like, Trina,
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I would say for the better resolve of your memory, don't look up Patra now. Like don't try to
Don't do it.
find
Don't
her.
ruin. Yeah, don't ruin
Don't
your.
if
Don't
she
ruin it.
tries to have some comeback tour, don't support it because the moment you the moment you see her and she looked like Lou Alcindor now, you'd be like, oh man, it's gonna kill everything. Don't
Yeah,
nobody look the same, man. I hate that saying that you look better now. You're the best looking now than you ever will be. I'm like, damn, that's
that's hard, but it's a reality, bro. Like that's like if you that's was it me and you talking about? If you can go, no, it was me and my boy DC. He
Uh-huh.
was saying if you can go back to any age previously, what
Mm,
age would you go back to?
mm.
And I was like, I'll go back till I'm like 12 or 13. And he was like, no, I'll go back till I'm like 22. And I'm like, I feel that, right? Like I feel like 22. I was like, but like 22, prior to being 22, I had no fucking idea about
But hold on.
any.
But what's the premise? Do you go
No, you
back
keep
to that
all your
age
you
and
keep
just
all your
stay there,
no,
or
you
you go
keep all
back to that age and start over?
you start over. Yeah. So but you keep all everything that you learned from today, you go
Yeah.
back to whatever age. And I said, I want to go back to like 13. I was like, because when you're 13, you're starting to become who you're going to be, right? It's like a very developmental age in those early preteens of like, you might have fingered a girl or you might have, you know what I mean? Like it's all that little bullshit that happens at that very, very early age of being a teenager. You start watching, you know, things that you're not supposed to watch, and you start kind of defying your parents a little bit, and you start kind of what I mean, meeting new people that people told you not to hang around and stuff like that. So I feel like I would go back to that age because,
You just told us all your business.
well, no, I was a badass kid.
We know exactly who you
i
was
would i
at
would
12,
feel
13.
I feel like I would feel like
You finally go steal the car once or twice. You in the back of
no,
the
that
church
was
taking
that was
your
key to
offering
weed. That
money
was key to
and
weed.
buying some other stuff. You
Key to weed would steal cars. I didn't steal any cars at that point. But no, I feel like I would go back. I would go back to like preteens because in preteens, one, I could dominate in school, and that would set me up for a better like high school experience of like learning. Because I feel like a lot of the things that I lacked, that I developed way later in life, was the ability to like retain information. And I feel like if I'm at 22, you can't tell me nothing at 22. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell nobody else at 22, but when you're coming out of that high school era and you're going into like a college mindset, like nigga, I would graduate at like 16 years old from college. You know what I mean? Like my mindset would be a little bit different. I think I'd be a little
Well,
bit
hold on. You
further ahead.
mixing the past. You said when you go back, you keep everything that you know. So it wouldn't matter what your mindset used to be at 12 or 22 because you're gonna have the same mindset that you have now. You're just going back to that age and
Think,
resetting from
think,
there.
yeah, but think about still. There's nothing different than I heard today that I didn't hear when I was 22 years old. But when you're 22 years old, that is a very like W key. Like you're just moving. Nobody can tell you nothing in your early 20s, bro. Like nothing. You don't start really kind of slowing down and thinking stuff, I think, until you're like 28. Cause you're like scared to get 30. You know what I mean? You're like, damn, like I should maybe start majority of the people. You know what I'm saying? Like majority of us, probably like around the late 20s is when you start to kind of like figure like, hey, I need to like focus. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And
Because
the late 20s to me, I feel like is when even though it's early set, is like when you really start realizing your mortality. Because up
yes,
until then, you look at years in increments. You're like, oh, I'm 10, I'm double digits. I'm about to be, 15, I can get a driver's
yeah,
permit or I can get a
yeah,
job.
yep,
16, I can drive a car. 18, I'm an adult. Like it's like these increments.
yep,
When you're turning 30, it's the first time you start looking at life in blocks of like,
yeah.
whoa,
Whoa,
30, 40, 50, like it changes
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Because ain't,
yeah.
ain't nothing else that you don't look forward to 32
No,
to 34. It's like
no,
so
it
yeah,
hasn't.
I feel that. I was going to say that at first when you brought the premise, I was thinking if I could go back to any time, I'd probably go back to like mid 20s as well, because then if especially if I'm keeping everything I have now and as heavy as I was in the music at the time, I feel like I would have a different presence. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be so shy, so kind of slow to speak, so modest all the time. Like I feel like I bring a little more braggadocio to the table to match my talent. But the more you talked, I'm thinking I probably would go back right before high school, like right freshman year, because I feel like high school, the big thing about high school that I feel like I missed is that I didn't realize I was going to be an entrepreneur.
Yep.
But in high school, I was so famous.
Yeah.
So imagine if you treated those people like these are your supporters. This is your people you might work with, people that you might sell to, people that you might buy from. Like
Yeah.
this is not just some kids at a school and y'all going to class and the bell's about to ring. Like, nah, these are future people that will build your wealth and you'll build theirs. I feel like I'd take it completely different, like
Yeah.
100%.
And that's
All go ahead.
and no, I'm saying that's why I picked the age that I picked, because as you're coming out of that junior high mindset, right? Because junior high is kind of just like a fluff. It's really just to prepare you for like real school work, consequences, situations, and things like that. But as you come out of that preteen era and you start getting into like a mindset of being a teenager and like and all of the things that you talked about, I feel like if I had the knowledge that I have now, it would set me up for success. Even though like my high school experience was, very, very good. Like I wasn't as popular, I mean, as most people, but at the same time, like I had a very eclectic group of friends. I was a chameleon. Like I can go hang out with the band geeks. I can go hang out with, the jocks. I can go hang out with the bad kids. I can go hang out with the nerds. I could be in all of these different groups because of my personality, And if I had a capitalized on that, to a point of like you're saying, like, treating these people as like, oh, this could be something that we can grow off of and expand not only just my career, but also yours. You know what I mean? I think it would be better because there was a lot of people like looking back on high school. I'm sure you're like, damn, that person was good at this. I probably could have been their manager, and like, you know what I mean? Or me and this person kind of clicked on this. They're still doing that, but they're not doing it at the level of what they could potentially do. Like, and I bring this up. There was this time I was getting a U-Haul in Detroit, right? I was getting a storage unit in Detroit. And this dude was this dude at the counter was just like very talkative. And it was like offsetting to everybody else, but I was like really intrigued by this dude's personality. And he was like, it was a person in front of me, and he was like, hey, this and this and this, I bet you'd like to do this type of stuff, huh? She was like, yeah, I like to do that. And he was like, you know what, my grandmother always said I have a gift. I can see the best in other people. And I was like, I thought that was like powerful. I was just like, those type of people, like he might have been like I'm a religious person. He might have been an angel, like, you know what I mean? In that point of just like bringing people up in this like random scenario of like shining a light on like their abilities and like things that they didn't think about and stuff like that. And when I had my interaction with him, and he was like, oh, kind of looking at me, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the fuck to to say to you. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're like me. And I feel like that's how I am. Like, I'm not so much very talented and like I can't play instruments, I can't do all of these other things, but I do see like people's capabilities. Like I'm a people person. Like I can see trends in personalities and stuff like that. I can bring out, or I can see like things that other people are not able to see in themselves. I'm like, I got friends that know how to sing. I'm like, if I knew how to fucking sing, I would be singing all the fucking time. Like, why would you waste that God-given talent? Like Janet, Tasha, like they can sing. Like people, oh, come sing at the funeral, come sing at this church, come sing. I'm like, why are you not on a microphone in front of a fucking camera singing every fucking song that you can and just posting that shit? Like, do we live in that day and like back in the day? It was very hard. You had to go suck a nigga dick at fucking what was Mike Mosley? You had to go suck Mike Mosley dick to fucking get on. You know what I'm saying? At the Funky Chicken in the back. But now it's a whole different
Sorry,
story.
Mike. Sorry, Mike. And And Chauncey and the
Not
funky chicken.
him, but probably somebody else to get through the door to
Just
see
sorry.
Mike. I saw
Just
Mike. I ain't sucked nobody's dick. I'm just saying you would probably have to do something extra to get into that, you know what I'm saying, that scenery, that vibe. Nowadays, you literally just turn your fucking phone on and just fucking sing, and people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, that's what." Like, if I could fucking sing, there's no way that I wouldn't be doing that shit all the fucking time. Like, there's no way.
but see, I from someone who has a talent, here's two things that I can relate to them about. Number one, I said it a long time, probably like 15 years ago in the song. I was saying that trying to sell music on or trying to get music out on the internet. I said it's like trying to sell records on a 400,000 mile an hour interstate. Hard to penetrate. It's so true because it's like things are moving so blistering fast. This was 15 years ago,
Yeah,
where you feel like, how do I even penetrate this thing? Like there's a few 100,000 singers putting up videos every day. So it's hard to penetrate before your song disintegrates, right? And that just kind of means like it fizzles out. The second thing is what Erica Badu said. I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my stuff.
yeah.
And so it weighs on you emotionally when you know how talented you are.
But
You know how much you put into that recording. You put it out there. You did the best Ray Charles that you've ever heard. Everybody around you is like, yo, this is killing. And you look up 4 days later and got 2 views. A month later, you got 5. 6 months later, you got 12. And you
yeah,
just like, dang. And you don't know how to crack the code. And truth be told, I hate to say it, talent don't crack the code.
no, no.
And
What
and
it
and so I think that's demoralizing. So I can understand. Now I don't know if that's their situation because I don't know if they ever tried.
No, no, no. Yeah, I feel you. Well, I guess that makes a lot of sense, and I understand that, and that's why like people are like, oh, you should do comedy because you have very like good timing, and I'm like, I don't feel I don't know how to write jokes. I don't know how to structure jokes. I'm just very good. I'm a quipper. Like I have a big nose. So like I used to get teased all the time. Like I had to be funny because I had to get these niggas up off me. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna go in on you and it's either sink or swim at this point. Like you gotta be on your shit. When I was like, so that's how I just became funny, and I grew up around funny people. You, grandma, fucking Uncle Jane, like all of these people just are naturally hilarious, and they're gonna tease you about your insecurities because we family. Like that's what Robinsons don't come solve. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a thing,
Pause.
right? Facts, but I could never get there and be like, oh, you gotta do a 2 minute like segment, and I'm just like that. To me, that sounds like work, and I don't want to work. Like I don't want to work. I just want to do whatever. You know what I mean? But I understand like when it comes to singing, and you put your stuff up there, and you put yourself out there, and it's not reciprocated to the effect that you think it is. But I feel like that's the mood, like that's the part of the story, right? Like every
Hold on.
every
How you gonna say that and you ain't doing yours though? That's because we
because
part of
no
your
no no no
story.
no 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 if I was going to sing,
No,
you
no, no.
rap.
You doing
No no no
comedy.
no no no
You doing
I
comedy.
understand. I'm comparing. If
Okay.
you rap, and if
Okay.
there's a singer, y'all are
Okay.
natural. Like you're a rapper. You oh here be oh shit yeah, Cashmere nigga, I fuck kill nigga. Like you can do that easy, and then you get in front of a thing and just fucking rap your shit.
Uh-huh.
If people are like, oh, you should do comedy, I'm like, all right, how do I even structure this? Like, how do I take the random things that are in here and put it on paper and tell a story? I'm not a good storyteller, and I feel like to be great at comedy, you have to be a good storyteller. Every comic that is great is a great storyteller. They are able to capture your mind and take you to a place and make you feel as if you were there in that moment. Is that not right?
Yeah, but it's still a cop out though, because every comedian also has to find their voice, right? And so
But
you
they're
have
all storytellers.
they're all storytellers, but that doesn't mean you saying that you're not a good storyteller. Just to me says, because I've heard you tell stories. We got a whole episode of Pod is Good, and you telling me a story about being in Afghanistan, or being in Iraq. That's like a real life story, right?
But that's
You,
not me
you
trying to be funny.
I know, but you still made me laugh in it. You still made me
Accidental.
laugh.
If you were to say, all right, bet, write me a comedy bit about that incident. There's no fucking way that I could even fucking write
Right, but see, that's what I'm saying. So here what you I know what you're doing. I understand the hiccup. I used to have that when I first got to LA, because prior to LA, my most of my rapping was battling in high school, freestyling, all of that. I met a dude from Def Jam who said, "Okay, you're dope, but you're dope like cannabis dope, and
Yeah.
nobody wants to listen to a whole album of cannabis battle raps." So he said, "Go write me a story." And I was like, "What?" And the only way that I was able to write a story, because I didn't think that my life was interesting enough, right? I didn't think
Yep.
I had my own hiccups of where I felt like that's just not a cool rap. That's just not, those aren't bars. That's not a dope song for me to talk about that, which is right in line of what you're saying. You're saying, but I can't make a story out of that. I can't create it from that. The way that I got over that was I found a story compelling enough for me that allowed me to channel some storytelling. You would just have to find the same thing like this. If you and I start talking about Life, the movie Life right now,
Mhm.
not only would you have points that you remember that are funny, the more we talked about it, you would have some things that connected to Spoon or connected to Daryl or da 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 da, and you would have these offshoots of it. So for you, it would be number one, I got to stop telling myself I'm not a good storyteller, and I got to find the right story for me. And so
Yeah.
maybe I build that through, all right, when I watched Sinbad do this, when I watched blah blah blah, and just like how Kevin Hart found his through talking about his family. He don't really talk about nothing else interesting. Maybe he doesn't know how to make other stuff funny for all we know. Maybe all he knows is you're gonna learn today. All he has is family stories. So he found his lane. What if your story was watching other comedy? How other comedy makes you react? How Martin made you react? How you know what I'm saying? What if it was those kind of elements that helped you build your storytelling ability? It's a possibility.
Great. Understand. The difference is, it is, it is, it's not something that I pursue or like it's a part of me, right? It's just, no, it is a part of me. Like I have quips. I'm able to have a conversation and make jokes about a conversation and stuff like that. And then my mind goes into this like zen moment of like seeing the story happen. Like I'm just like, oh yeah, and there's a guy and there's blah blah blah. Like the whole Diddy thing that we did last show, right? I'm just like, I could see Diddy like saying, Daryl, hey, how many shots you had? 18 shots, boss. Like 18 shots. Like I could see this whole thing going on as
Uh-huh.
a scenario, but that's in the spur of the moment. I can't sit down and just be like, all right, funny story. You know what I
You
mean?
you missing
Like
it.
that doesn't
Do,
go.
does Kevin Hart have the red cup boys, the plastic cup boys, or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, do I'm saying that to say everybody understands what they need. Some people sit alone. Cat sits alone and just thinks about things going on in the world and how he can make it funny. but maybe Kevin sits around and does exactly what we did, just not on camera, and builds material. Because just from the few episodes we've done of this, you could probably build a 6 minutes comedy set, taking these little pieces and weaving them together in some kind of way. I guarantee you could. So it's all about, like I said, finding it for you.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the caveat with that is like it's also like a want, right? Like I don't know. I don't think that I want it as bad as it. You know, people say like people are like, oh, you should do this, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, I don't think I want it, and that's what that's even like going back to being 12 years old and like meeting these people and stuff like that. Like I think that's the problem that you'll run into. Even like when I talk to my singer friends, it's like you don't want it then. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to do it. So there's nothing that I can do besides let you know like all of these things and like, hey, it would be this if you try this way, you know, and I make all these suggestions. If the person does not, and this is something that I've even like in my military career is like I do not invest time on deaf ears. Like if I'm going to mentor you and I'm gonna give you all the game, and I feel like you're not going to reciprocate it or you're not reciprocating the game, you're not even like understanding that, I don't have time to continue. I don't have time to wait for you to finally get it. I'm just going to keep reminding you that it's there incrementally. Like I'm just, but at the same time, I'm going to go